SBRForum's Inside the Lines is brought to you by Ladbrokes.
Hi, welcome to SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing Week 17 in the NFL right now. And we are talking right now with Joe Duffy from Offshore Insiders, who has graciously agreed to take two games that were late-minute cancellations from other cappers. Joe, thanks for doing this with us.
Hey, Peter, it's a great week. I've set an all-time personal record for talking to you this week. That's a good thing.
No, I really appreciate it. You took them last minute, and they're very, very tough games. The first one is Baltimore at Cincinnati, and of course, Cincinnati's locked into the 6th seed. Baltimore is in the playoffs. Cincinnati's about a 2.5-point home favorite. The total's 41. Both teams say they're playing to win, but how much are they really? You got to assume that they're going to rest starters and injured players at some point and give maybe anywhere from a 50% to 80% maybe effort here. I don't know how you cap this game or find an edge. For me, it's a pass. What do you think?
Yeah, Week 17, there is a lot of uncertainty, but one of my many golden rules that I always say that uncertainty is bad for the odds maker, so that's good for the sharp player. One of the things that I read, and I talk about having information, and again, I'm not one of these handicappers who claims that I got inside information and I got scouts all over the country, blah, blah, blah. Although if you really want to get technical, I guess I do have scouts all over the country in that I know the places on the web to go for good information. And the CBS Sportsline Rapid Reports is one of my, maybe top 10 or 15 favorite sites that have pretty good intel. And for whatever reason, the Bengals seem to be one of the teams that they've had a good handle on over the last couple of years. And they brought up a really good point. What they're saying is around Cincinnati, the Bengals, they're comparing themselves to the New York Giants. Last two teams that won the Super Bowl were, in each case, the Giants peaked at the right time. They peaked at the end of the year. And, of course, they went and won the Super Bowl twice against the New England Patriots. Well, Cincinnati, they've won, if I'm not mistaken, 6 of the last 7 straight up. So in order to go into the playoffs on a high note, it's important that they win this game. Also, it would be revenge from an earlier season loss. So Cincinnati has talked so much about the importance of having momentum heading into the postseason, and especially, as I said, comparing themselves to last year's Super Bowl champion, the Giants. I think the Bengals have as much to play for intangibly, I guess I use that word again, as any team that on paper may not have much to play for, but the Bengals, I think, really want to win this game.
Right. Even though they're locked into the 6th seed, you think that they really, it strikes me as a little bit, it strikes me as there's probably just a tiny psychological edge to Baltimore just because they're not actually locked into their playoff spot.
Yeah, but there's a little bit more pressure on Baltimore. But again, because the Bengals, they're a team that has been a disappointment in previous years, and they are building up that momentum. I just really think that the Bengals are going to go all out for this. And, we also like to use some systems. A system that kind of jumped out at me is going against teams with a winning record off of a win as a home underdog, which Baltimore did last week. They won as a home underdog. Going against teams under those situations are 140-77 to the number. Also 73-38. And keep in mind that the Ravens are getting a teeny bit healthier on defense, but their defensive injuries have been well publicized. They're lacking some chemistry. They can be exploited. Of course, the Bengals have one of the great big play receivers in all of football, probably the best wide receiver not named Johnson in all of football, and A.J. Green. And he can exploit that defense of Baltimore that's really been ravaged by injuries this year.
Okay, well, thanks for the insights, Joe Duffy. Definitely appreciate it. Thanks.